All right, all right, all right. Oh, can you hear me out there? Can you hear me out there? How's everybody doing? Hey, and welcome to Goodwood University. Just want to make sure we have the volume up. If you can hear me, go ahead hit me up in the comments section. What's going on, Nimish? Let me know that you can hear me. So I'm having problems hearing myself, but there we go. There we go. So yes, welcome to Goodwood University office hours. This is Brian, aka Uncle B, and let's see. Make sure all our settings are correct here. Yes, we got that. And we got that. Uh-huh. And we got the microphone. Okay. All right. So I just can't hear myself. All right. Connecticut in the house. What's going on with you, Kevin? Hey, I want to welcome you everyone here. We are going to go ahead and get into it. Today we're talking about something that you need to know about. That's letting you know that you are a sexual performance athlete. Yes, yes, you. Yes, you, sir. It's one of the greatest sports in the history of the planet. We all have this thing right there in the middle of our body that just lets us know that that we are able to function correctly. We have, as men, we have an indicator stick right there that lets us know whether everything is working correctly. But we also have the wonderful thought process of, you know what, you are a sexual performance athlete. What exactly is that? It's a person just like any other athlete. Hey, you're focusing in on a specific task, a specific goal. A basketball player trains to be a basketball player. A sexual performance athlete trains to be a sexual performance athlete. And what exactly does that mean? Well, we're going to get into that. But first, what's going on, Carl? How's everything doing? Going? If you could go into the comment section, let me know where you are representing. And we do have our question for today. It's like, I do you remember the last time you had a morning Woody? I ask that question often because a lot of times guys just haven't thought about that in a long time. And so yeah, that's something that we need to be thinking about just to make sure that everything is working properly. So when it comes to being a sexual performance athlete, I want to go down the list. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comment section. That's what we do around here. We answer those questions. So when it comes to being a sexual performance athlete, what do you need? Well, first of all, you need flexibility. Yeah, you need to be able to be bendy. You need some sexual stamina. You need your strength, and also you need your core. A lot of people don't think about that in terms of like what you're supposed to work out, and also obviously you need that testosterone production. So when it comes to that number one thing, we're talking about flexibility. Hey, what's going on, Sir Miguel? Callie in the house. When it comes to flexibility, it's one of those things that's sort of overlooked. I mean, we just figure out, sex is supposed to be spontaneous and you just do it. And so you don't think about the fact that you've been sitting still for like the past half an hour, having dinner, doing whatever you've been doing. And if you want to get better, you have to focus in on your flexibility. Ask any kung fu master, anybody who's taken any types of physical activity. If you're flexible, you can move faster. That's the whole point. And also, when we're talking about having sex, you're in different positions. And so you don't want to catch a Charlie horse, right when you're just getting into it, you're catching a Charlie horse. And whatever position you're in, as men, what we're doing, we're thrusting, we're moving. And so you want to be able to have that flexibility so you can handle that side of things. And you get into a position that feels all incredible and everything, and you have to get out of it because hey, your knee is starting to tighten up and everything like that. So before having sex, a sexual performance athlete is going to do like every other athlete, and that means they're going to stretch. They're going to stretch. The other thing you're focusing in on as a sexual performance athlete is your sexual stamina. How long can you last? I mean, that you want to be able to control that, whether we're talking about controlling your ejaculation from a premature ejaculation standpoint, or being able to have an orgasm when you want to. That's the whole goal, is for you don't have to worry about it. So with sexual stamina, obviously we have to talk about the fact that you need to have aerobic activity. You need to be able to, whether it's taking a jog, taking a swim. I know some people have a thing against steady state cardio. I don't. I mean, it's just recognition of what it does. So you need steady state cardio in order to get your stamina up. But at the same time, if you do too much of it, you can lower your testosterone. So we're sort of playing that game right there. And when it comes to that sexual stamina, once again, you could be in that same position for a long time just because it feels good. So you need that flexibility to stay in that position and the stamina to keep going in that position. And when it comes to sex, what are we doing? We're switching up speeds all the time. It's like, okay, you know, I'm in there, and it's like we're stroking. And now she wants me to speed up. Now I want to slow down. We want to, all of that stuff involves your sexual stamina. And then when you're talking about your strength, obviously, when you're, as a man, you're dealing with different positions that require you to have strength. You know, hey, you may be into the larger ladies, and you're moving more. You're moving more. I mean, that's for real. That's for real. And you don't want to be like in a situation where you're on top and it's like your arms start locking up on you. I mean, we're not saying that you need to have the strength of a football player, but we are saying that you need to have your strength up. So even with sex, I mean, there's some levels of explosive movements. When you're really into it, there are explosive movements. You need to have your strength available for you. And so, and of course, strength and stamina, they sort of go together. So, and let's talk about your core. And basically, when we talk about the core, we're talking about basically right below your chest line, all the way down to your thighs. That is considered your entire core. And what's right in the middle of your core, of course, is your penis. And so, if you're doing your stomach workouts, doing core workouts, not just stomach, but also your back, all of that counts because while you're moving around, hey, that you're using your core. And obviously, we're not saying that you have to have six pack abs, but you do need to have that there. And also, one of the things to remember is that uh, as a man with your erections, typically it depends on everyone's anatomy is slightly different, but typically you want your erections to be up at a 45-degree angle. And that's basically showing that your core is tight. So if your core is tight, you can be up like this. Not everybody's like that. That's just for the guys it makes sense for. Um, and so, yeah, you need to have your core there. And also, when it comes to testosterone production, that's a huge one. Um, and so that's a lot of what we talk about. When it comes to all the different herbs that I have over here, we're always talking about improving your testosterone, whether it's getting out into the sun, getting good sleep, exercising correctly. All of these things lead up to you having better testosterone. And there's certain types of exercises that can actually hurt your testosterone. Once again, steady state, if you're doing too much of it, if you're running a marathon, it's not helpful for your testosterone. You're actually increasing your cortisol because you're stressing your body. So you don't want to overdo it. You need to have that stamina, but I would say if you're going to run long distances, maybe once or twice a week, not doing it 3, 4, 5 times a week if you're having erection issues. But on the other hand, we have weightlifting. If you're lifting heavy, that's going to increase your testosterone. Also, remember your testosterone develops while you're sleeping. So it's much better to get that workout on, do all the things, get your supplements, get your sleep on. During your sleep, that's when the testosterone is actually going to start building. So that's always important. So lifting heavy is definitely going to do that for you. So that's really what a sexual performance athlete is like. You have to think of that mindset. A lot of times we're just thinking like, oh, I'm just going to go to the gym. I'm going to go for a walk and go to run. It's like, what are you doing it for? Once you have a full purpose, understanding of what is going on, then you have your directions. You have you have a thought process that's going to equal something coming out in the end. Uh-huh. All right. Corey says, when I subscribe to Goodwood University, when will I be able to upgrade my plan? Those plans will be coming out actually shortly. We're just going to announce that we were doing some things to make sure that it works well for everybody. And for those who are just joining, hey, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and I'm the men's performance coach with Goodwood Goodwood University, and these are the office hours. This is the time for you to ask any questions that you may have. I have a question in the chat for those guys who have just getting here. Do you remember the last time you had a morning woody? um I just want to get the conversation going, because a lot of times this happens. I'm going to go ahead and answer this question right before I'm about to hop off. That's when people are like, hey, I got this last minute question. Go ahead, ask your questions now. So, and also, if you could like the video, that would help us out, help out the algorithm. The work that we're doing here is really important, because of the standpoint, we have way too many men who are having sexual health issues, which is basically health issues. And for those, like me, at first it's like, this doesn't affect me. That means there's more women out there. There's a problem. There's too many women out there dealing with men who can't function correctly, and they are ornery. So, and we want to make sure you are not one of them. So, please go ahead, hit us with a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right. Cornelius, CJ, my man asks, what's the best way to increase your semen? All right. Trying to get that porn star thing going on. Zinc. You could take a zinc tablets. Don't have the milligrams, the recommended milligrams, right here in front of me. Couple of things to understand about when you're taking zinc tablets. First is that zinc helps with sperm mobility and production of sperm. And when you're taking zinc tablets, make sure you're taking it on a full stomach. I tried it without a full stomach. Not a good look. Not a good look. And also, there are foods that just have zinc in it. And you also want to make sure that you're drinking an abundance of water, because when there's semen, and then there's the semen fluid, and typically the whole thing of like, oh look, it's all over the place, that's the fluid part. The actual sperm cells themselves, it's a lot less than the actual fluid part is. So I hope that answered your question. One of the questions I got yesterday is, what do I eat? All right. You asked for it. I'm gonna tell you. So let me just give you a quick background. What I used to eat. Oh my God, it was insane. I used to eat 300 animals, 200 to 300 animals a month. So meat with every meal. That is not my situation anymore. Maybe 4 times a month, like once a week. I may have, a piece of chicken or something like that. But outside of that, my diet is heavily plant based, and I have the vegans in there, so vegan food. So it's like 80% plant. The rest is vegan. I typically start off breaking my fast with a salad, and the reason for that is because once you have that nutrition in your stomach, your body is going to react differently throughout the day. So it's pre-programming your body. So the first thing you eat, your body is going to be like, hey, we want some more of that. So it's going to start thinking, and the way your body is set up, your checking account, your saving account, is like when you eat something, your body actually creates a colony of bacteria to actually digest that particular food. And if you have so much of it going in, you have, let's say, for instance, my nemesis back in the day, oatmeal cream pies. I was eating oatmeal cream pies, and all of a sudden, it's like I was addicted to it. And it was basically because inside of my stomach, the gut bacteria, the gut microbiome, there's a huge nation that developed that was sitting there saying, hey, I want some more. I was designed for this, to eat this particular thing. So it's going to send a signal up to your brain. If you're eating something that's nutritious for you, it's going to send the signal up, hey, we want some more of that nutritious stuff. So that's the reason why I say, if you're going to go through the process of transitioning from eating plant-based or processed foods, one of the easiest ways to do that is to actually just go ahead and grab yourself a salad, a fruit, something like that. Have that to be the first thing you eat. And before each meal, eat that first. And so you're just reprogramming your body. A lot of times we try to do is, I'm just going to not eat that, and you're fighting against yourself. Because it's like you have this whole colony inside of your body, it's turned into a superpower. I had my oatmeal cream pie superpower for years. I had Popeye's chicken superpower. You don't want that in your stomach. Never a good idea. Corey asks, what natural food would you recommend for zinc intake? I would have to check that out right quick. I don't have that off the top of my head. Basically, let me see, the highest in zinc um, would be uh, I don't have that off the top of my head. I'm sorry about that. Um, but yeah, you can just go ahead and do a quick Google of that. But yeah, um, basically, when it comes down to it, all of the nutrition that we have, there's some plants available for that. Um, and I'm trying to remember which ones it is off the top of my head. Um, yep, we got it in soy. Oh, nuts. Yeah, definitely into the different nuts, almonds, peanuts, things like that. So, um, there are a plethora of plant-based foods that you can get that out of. And of course, a lot of times people talk about oysters. The reason why they talk about oysters is that zinc is actually in the crust of the earth. When the plants are growing through the earth, they're sucking up the zinc, and also they're at the ocean floor. That's the reason why the oysters, which are on the ocean floor, are surrounded by zinc. That's the way that works. So, and also when it comes to the other things that I typically eat during the day, I focus highly on, especially this time of year, watermelon, black seeded watermelon because it has the L-citrulline. I actually get the whole. I try to get the whole watermelon. Sometimes you get the cut watermelon, but you want to actually get that rind also. Because there's a lot of nutrition in the white part, the white fleshy part as well. So they call watermelon nature's Viagra for a reason. And so you want to go ahead and get that nature's Viagra on. Some other foods that you could pay attention to. One of the things, let me just go ahead and say this now. One thing I've been working with recently is cacao, CACO. Um, and the cow powdered form, and we're talking about the unsweetened. The reason why I did that is because there's been research saying that it helps with your stem cell production. And for you who do not know, stem cells are basically the beginning of everything. They are all throughout your entire body. It helps with your brain, it helps with your liver. It basically rejuvenates your body. So it's a great thing to have on. So every day I have a cacao just in my drinks. I'll put that into a smoothie, I'll put that into cereal. And also when it comes to certain things that I eat in terms of, like, if I have to grab something really quick, don't have time to put together a salad, I do have cereal. Try to get the unsweetened cereal. My favorite is like grape nuts for whatever reason. But I use grape nuts and I use like almond milk or something like that, and throw some bananas in there. So throw some raisins in there. And we are good to go. And the thing to think about is, especially rounded this back up to being a sexual performance athlete, is that you need to do this every day. Yesterday we were talking about keto and how my thoughts on keto. And if it works for you, whatever works for you works for you. Everybody's body is different, but you want something. Most people, they can't stay on keto for a long time because it's a very difficult thing to do. Um, and it really depends. I mean, when I say I'm eating 80% plant based, some people are like, that's impossible. I'm never going to do something like that. And it's like, well, no, it is possible. It is possible, but it takes time. And you want to get it to a point where you don't think about it. That's where I am right now in terms of, like, the foods I used to eat used to kill, like lobster, used to kill, like, salmon, used to kill all these different foods that I don't eat anymore. And it's an easy process. And as you get older, this is a necessary process, because if I ate the way I did when I was 35, now, huge problems. Huge problems. We're talking cancerous level problems, diabetes level problems, because I was off the chain. There was a supermarket not supermarket, it was a strip mall down the street from me, had the Bojangles and the McDonald's and Taco Bell and the liquor store, and I was partaking in everything. And it was not a good look. So when you're getting your mindset into, I really need to change the way I'm thinking, changing the way I'm acting, changing the way I'm doing things. This is necessary. This is a necessary part to recognize that going into the future, you need this to be a lifestyle. If you want to be 55, 65, 75, 85 and be healthy the entire time, it's all about lifestyle. I often talk about the fact that our lifestyle right now is completely off. you know, in terms of what we eat, I would say the average American probably eats like a good 70% processed foods. Basically, you're stuffing your body, your wet chemical bag with dry food, and that's causing problems. People are not getting outside into the sun. Um, we're not breathing correctly. And, all of these things start adding up. Once you start getting to a point where you're doing this on a regular, it changes everything. For me, I wasn't a person who was all into necessarily into supplements. I mean, I was taking African Fly, now known as Good Wood, for years, and I was like, okay, this is good, this is perfect, this is it. And it's like, well, no, there's more to life. There's other supplements. That's why I've this right here, Juan Praro. I always mess this name up. Juanapo, Juanapo. This is great for stamina. And woo, woo, you gotta be careful with that. Homegirl was sitting there saying, "I'm not sure what you're taking, but you gotta slow up." So, yeah, you can, different herbs are going to be doing different things. That's one of the things that we'll be going through in Goodwood University. We're introducing more herbs into our ecosystem, and we're trying to get as many as possible because some people don't have access to certain things that I do, in different parts of the world. So we're looking at all of the different herbs, all the different supplements that can help you, period, because that's what we're here to do. So, um, hey, we got a lot of guys in the chat room. Go ahead and hit me up with your questions. Today we've been talking about, becoming a sexual performance athlete. And oh, by the way, for those who are just joining, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and this is Goodwood University office hours. And we do this 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 days a week, business days, because we want to make sure you have your questions answered and that we get you to the highest level of yourself possible. So, um, let's see. Let's see. We have any other questions in here? Um, One of the things that's I also think we often miss out on in terms of the way that we're approaching things. I didn't really say this in terms of being a sexual performance athlete, but um, always I call it the Jordan and the LeBron effect. Is the difference between the two styles of thought process. Michael Jordan was very intense, great at what he's obviously the greatest, very intense on what he was doing. And so that intensity led to some problems. And so when I say it led to some problems, there were some other reasons for him going into retirement twice. But a lot of it is that he was so intense the entire time, it's going to wear you out. It's going to wear you out. On the other side, you have a person like LeBron James, who has a history of just being at the top of his game health wise. He does a lot of things for his body, but you look the way he approaches the game, he's happy about it. He really enjoys it. He's strategic. He's still doing his business about it, but he enjoys getting out there. He enjoys the camaraderie, et cetera, et cetera. I would say that in terms of being a sexual performance athlete, my preference for you is to be more like LeBron in terms of just being happy about going through the process. If you're thinking like, oh my God, I got to take this supplement, I have to go to sleep, I have to do this, and if your approach to it is wrong, you're going to end up on the wrong side of things. It's just going to be like, why am I doing this? Why am I uh and that's the whole thing. The whole process of being a sexual performance athlete is so you get more pleasure, so that you can enjoy the whole thing of being able to perform at any time. I've been on that other side where, on the sexual performance scale, I was a 5, and I'm telling you, there's a huge difference between like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be it, I'm not sure what's going to happen, and two, like, oh, I'm is unquestionably sure what's going to happen. Is decimation is going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So, yeah, you need to understand, that thought process of I really want to get this. Let me get into it. Let me do the best that I possibly can, and you'll get there. You will get there. So, that's all I have for today. If you have any other questions, please. I know we have a 15-second delay. we have a delay on here, so we can catch all the people cursing and all this kind of stuff. But in the meantime, if you got a question, put it in there right now. Otherwise, let me just go ahead and say this. Please, if you're looking to improve your sex life with supplements, you can go ahead and check out givegoodwood.com. We have Goodwood there. We also have Goodwood Advanced, and that's for our older guys. Goodwood Advanced, we actually added nettle in there, which actually stops your body from turning your testosterone into estrogen, and also stops your body from allowing your testosterone to be bound to hormones it doesn't need to be attached to. So with Goodwood Advanced, it's for older guys because that's what happens as we get older. The reason why you can see grandpa just like or uncle or something like that look healthy, fine, and then all of a sudden you can see him for 2 years and you're like off a cliff. Like what just happened? Yeah, it's like your body is switching over, and so this slows down that process. If you need that in your life, go ahead and get it. But once again, this is Brian, aka Uncle B, and this has been Goodwood University. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I will see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Come with your club, come with your questions so we can get you taken care of. All right. Until then, enjoy yourself, fellas. Peace out.